Okay, I'm sorry for the disturbance. Okay, so what we are talking about, that you have learned about these three programming languages, right? Yes. So do you know can anyone tell me the difference between this? Yes, can do anyone knows the difference between um, these three programming languages, the scripting language and the markup language? Okay, there's one new message, sorry. Yes, correct, Rachel. Markup languages for designing. That's very good. Like very good. Like HTML, XML, which tells the front end of your website. Like a website cannot run without HTML, because HTML is a markup language that your HTTPS uses to load it on the website. So HTML and XML, these are markup language. That's correct. They are used to display, like they will not exactly designing, but the displaying of your web page. Now, what are scripting language? Scripting language is like JavaScript, right? So scripting language will work only on the client side. Like whenever you want to work something, when you don't want to load the data from the server, you can work with the scripting language, right? That is the JavaScript. And programming languages are like Java, Python. Now, if you are using a database, then only with JavaScript it is not possible, right? You need a connection between the front end of your website and database. Although nowadays there is lot of, like I told you that there's a lot of modification in Python, and maybe there's a lots of modification in Java also. You might have heard about React, Node.js, right? And MongoDB. So these all are the modifications of JavaScript, right? These you can use. But for the normal database designing and the front end connection, you will need a programming language. So you can design the front end in JavaScript, but yet you will need something for the connection between your website and the database. So you can use JSP, PHP, Python, whatever you feel like, right? Okay, Risham? Yeah, CSS, yes, correct. CSS is also, that is style sheet, right? Markdown means, from where you are referring to markdown? That is a markup language. Uh, Markdown. Markup language are the languages which are used to design the web page. Like we'll be learning about web designing also in some classes. So आप जब web browser पे कोई application को run करते हैं, तो आपको HTML या CSS चाहिए होता है. Like मतलब sorry, HTML चाहिए होता है. Without HTML you cannot work on the front end, right? You cannot display your page on HTTPS. उसको हम बोलते हैं markup language, right? स्क्रिप्टिंग लैंग्वेज जो क्लाइंट साइड पे वर्क करती है, प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज हैव द मोर वास्टर सिनेरियो. ठीक है रेशम? Abhijit, like for DFDs and all, you have to first decide your project, right? We will be coming to for problem definition, requirement specification, project planning and scheduling. तो ये सब तब होगा जब आप एक प्रोजेक्ट डिजाइन करें. पहले आप प्रोजेक्ट क्या बनाना चाहते हैं, उसकी रिक्वायरमेंट्स क्या है, ठीक है, उसका प्लानिंग क्या है, एंड एवरी प्रोजेक्ट इट विल बी डिफरेंट, राइट? फिर हम आते हैं डीएफडी पे, लेवल 1 डीएफडी, लेवल 2 डीएफडी एंड ईआर डायग्राम, राइट? आई विल टेलिंग यू अबाउट दीज विद वन डमी प्रोजेक्ट, नॉट विद एवरी प्रोजेक्ट, राइट? बट इसके लिए सबसे पहले आपको डिसाइड करना पड़ेगा कि आपके प्रोजेक्ट क्या है, उसकी हार्डवेयर सॉफ्टवेयर रिक्वायरमेंट्स क्या, क्या टूल यूज करना चाहते हैं और क्या ऑब्जेक्टिव है. ठीक है? बिना प्रोजेक्ट के आप ये थर्ड और फोर्थ पार्ट पे नहीं जा सकते. पहले प्रोजेक्ट डिसाइड कीजिए कि प्रोजेक्ट क्या है, and then which languages you will be using for it, right? And then you can go in more detail on DFDs. So for dummy project, I'll be telling you, don't worry. Okay, so any other questions still here? Okay, Let's proceed further. So when I talk about the basic structure of Java program, then this is the basic structure. As I told you that Java is a pure object-oriented programming language, so everything will start with class. So public class hello world, public because it should be publicly available, and then it has a public static void main. So this void main is same as int main and void main in C++, and we have just introduced public and static before it. Public means it should be available to everyone, and static so that it don't need an object to call it. Why main function is static? Like suppose your compiler will start from the main function. So if you don't make it static, then where you will create an object for the main, right? So that's why it is static. System.out.println is the function. Like print is a simple printing function. System is a class. Out is an object. And println is a function that prints something, right? So this, you can see S is capital, systems S is capital, hello world H is capital. So these are our classes. In Java, there is a convention that the name of class should start with capital letter, right? And we should follow it. So this is the basic structure of this Java program, right? Hello world can be anything. You can name your class whatever you want to. Main functions remain the same, and whatever you want to do currently, you will be doing in the main part. Is any one of you here who is not aware of this and is not understanding this part? Okay, so Resham, you are not getting this, means you have never learned Java. Okay, so what I will do, I will save this with an extension. Hello world dot Java. Will compile it like this. Hello world dot Java will be compiled to a class file. Hello world dot class, and this class file be interpreted to the machine, right? That my machine will be executing. So you know that C and C++, there the code is directly compiled to machine code. Like if I write A.C, it will be compiled to machine code. If I write A.C++, then it will be compiled directly to machine code. But here what happens in Java, there's one more layer in between, that is the class file, right? So hello world.java will be compiled to hello world.class file, and this class file will be interpreted to machine code, right? And this class file is your platform independent. Like if you don't want, like suppose I made this program in Windows, and you say, okay, ma'am, I want to run this code on Linux. So I can give you the class file, and you don't need any ID even. You only need Java virtual machine to run it, right? So here you can see that first you write the code, then you compile, okay, using the Java C compiler. It will generate a bytecode that is stored in class file. And this bytecode will be used by JVM to execute and convert it into machine code. And this class file also makes your code more secure. Like suppose if you don't want to give your Java's original code to anyone, you can just give the class file. And this class file is encrypted enough that no one can read that what actual code you have made, right? You don't want that you make a website with lot of efforts, and one of your friend copies the same website, and exactly he also makes the exactly same as yours in one day. Like nobody wants it, right? So this class file is encrypted in such a way that nobody can read it and nobody can interpret what the original file contains. Correct? So these are some common uses of Java. As already told you, web development, mobile development, enterprise solutions, game designing also. Okay, now I will show you one code, how to run Java, and we'll be using VS Code for this, right? You can use any IDE, like you can use Eclipse, you can use BlueJ, you can use NetBeans, VS Code also. So here in VS Code, it will be more easy for you to go through it. So let me share my screen. First of all, do anyone has any doubt till here in the presentation that we have learned about the basics of Java, how to program in Java? Giving you 2 minutes. Kindly type your answers in the chat box, yes or no, whatever you feel like. Hot Java browser is nothing but a simple browser. It's just it has named this page as Hot Java, right? Like suppose I say Google browser. So this is just a Hot Java browser. The image just shows. If I enlarge it, you can see this, right? URL. So that is what they have said, Hot Java. Just a fancy term. Any other questions? Okay, so let me share my screen. I hope you can see the VS Code. Message me for whatever you want to ask. Okay, uh, let me open up screen. Okay, so this is VS Code, right? I'm creating one file, new file. Is my screen visible? Yeah. Minion.java. Suppose this is my file. All the extension of Java file will be .java. So class Minion, we don't have to write public. By default, is public in VS Code. Then public static void main string args system dot out dot print ln hello world. Right. So this is simple code that I have written and saved it. Now you will go to your folder Java C minion.java. Okay, so what we are doing, this is Java compiler. We are compiling this code. As soon as you can see here, just observe, right? You can see that there is only one file, minion.java, right? Now, as soon as I run this code, one more file is created, that is the class file. Yes, can you see, people see that this class file is generated, right? Now I will compile, I have compiled this minion.java. You know that a compiler always saves its translation in one other file, that is the class file here. Now, let me just run this. So here, when I say Java minion, I'm basically referring to the class file and it is printing hello world for me, right? Let's go to the class file. The class file is, you can see, is an encrypted text. Now, this is an encrypted text. With this text, you cannot tell that it is the code I am writing is to print hello world, right? It contains lang, it contains init, it contains IO. So this is the bytecode of Java, right? Okay, now you gave this bytecode to someone and he said, okay, I want to run your program. So he can easily run. Like if I delete this minion.java, let me copy the code and delete this file. Right, there's no minion.java now. Then also you can run this program. You don't need now Java file. Once you have the class file, you don't need a Java file, right? Okay, okay, clear? Now, let me do one thing. Okay, before this, now suppose you can easily run this file, but you won't be able to modify it. Like suppose someone says, okay, you have done this, now I just go and modify this code. So what he will do, if we try to make any changes in this, like suppose he try to delete something, He said, okay, let me delete something. So it won't work as expected, right? So as soon as we would delete it, now this file will get corrupted, right? You cannot even run this. Okay, so this class file makes Java platform independence as well as a secure language, right? You don't need an ID to run the class file. You only need a Java virtual machine. And for any modifications in your project, you will need .java file. With the class file, is it not possible? With the class file, you can run the code, you can see the output, you can do the, what I say, database insertion you can do, you can see the details from the database, but you cannot modify the project, right? So this made more secure. Clear? Any questions still here? Okay, today I'll be showing you one project on this very project. This is a not very efficient, very simple project, and it's still on the development stage with, it's just a simple GUI based application. So let me share my full screen first. Okay. Now, if suppose I run, so this is one, subscription tracker, which tracks the subscription of a particular person, and it's a GUI based application. Okay. So here you can see we have different set of buttons like for add, delete, exit, expense, and log out. Login was also there, but I have just skipped the login and moved to this page only. So if I want to add any subscription, I can easily add here. Like suppose I want to add it Amazon Prime. So I can easily do it. And this is an alert that whatever my subscription will be ending, it will generate an error like w3schools.com. So it is ending on 22. So today is 19, it will show me a message. So if I want to edit this also, I can easily do it, schools. Now, as soon as I increase the date, it won't show me the trigger, right? Okay, if you want to delete any subscription, you can delete it. Delete Khan Academy, yes, back. So it's been deleted, right? So add, delete, edit. Then if you want to see the total expenses, you can easily see. So you can see the monthly expenses, 5,000, yearly expenses, there's category wise expenses, right? Okay. So this is a very basic application. And like suppose if I show you the main page.java, so here we have used java.awt, that is abstract window toolkit, awt.event, IO, util, and javax.swing, right? So swing is basically used to design the buttons, the layouts, and why swing? We can design it in applet also, but applet is limited and it don't have, more better options like swing. Swing will automatically adjust your web page according to your theme of your operating system. Like if you're using window, it will change it. If you're using Linux, then it will change it. But which your applet don't do. Swing is the extended version of applet, right? Then we have added J buttons, J labels, creating the set title, set size using J panels, header, menus. Then you can add and delete the menu, created, and a simple this web page will be created, right? So here in Visual Studio, you will have to write this entire code, but you can like when you use Visual Studio, it's a raw code. You will have to write every line and then you have to change it. So this was a GUI based application. Okay, message from someone. No, if Resham, if you are just changing the hello word in the class file, it won't change. Like you cannot modify the class file. You can modify your Java file, right? But not the class file. Yes, Ria, you can make a AI chatbot, but then you should also counter that how it is different from the other chatbots. हाँ, वर्किंग लिंक एक्चुअली देखिए आपको प्रोजेक्ट दिखाना होगा। अगर आपका नॉर्मल प्रोजेक्ट है वेब, तो आप EXE दे सकते हैं, APKs दे सकते हैं। अगर आपका वेब बेस्ड प्रोजेक्ट है तो कई बार हम एक डमी URL पे चेक करते हैं। लाइक आपको एक डमी URL पे उसको अपलोड करना पड़ेगा एंड देन देयर आर डमी URLs जो मतलब एक्टिव रहते हैं लाइक 48 आवर्स और 2 डेज और 3 डेज, और आप उनकी कर सकते हैं, राइट। एंड that depends upon university to university, right? And what are the guidelines? So you can share that, right? And you can also share the code. Yes, आप PHP में भी अपना application बना सकते हैं if you know PHP. Okay, if you want to associate Java file with HTML and CSS, then you will have to use JSP. Like Java का Java server pages आपको use करना पड़ेगा. पे आपका वर्क करेगा HTML and CSS, and the server side पे आप इसे work करेंगे Java server pages. Read a little bit more about Java server pages. In the next class, I'll be talking about advanced Java, in which I will tell you the JSPs, RMI, socket programming, little bit basics, right? प्रोजेक्ट हैंड राइटिंग या फोन पर कैसे बना सकते हो? You will need a system for this. It's not Java open source, that is Java server pages. Java open source like देखो आजकल ना टेक्नोलॉजी में बहुत सारे मॉडिफिकेशन है, यू विल कम टू मेनी कॉमन टर्म्स, राइट। अब आप रूबी ऑन रेल्स सुना होगा आपने, सो बहुत सारे ऐसे टर्म्स है, बट गो विद द कोर कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ प्रोग्रामिंग। वेबसाइट की EXE नहीं बनती है प्रथम, EXE वेबसाइट्स की नहीं बनती है, ठीक है। आप EXE GUI एप्लीकेशंस की बना सकते हो, अगर आप वेब एप्स बना रहे हो तो APK बनेगी या EXE बना सकते हो, बट वेबसाइट की कोई EXE नहीं होती, तो वेबसाइट आपको कहीं ना कहीं लोड करनी पड़ेगी। और अगर आप जावास्क्रिप्ट, CSS और HTML से वेबसाइट बना रहे हो तो ये इसमें क्या होगा आपका, आप जावास्क्रिप्ट यूज कर सकते हो बट सिर्फ प्योर जावास्क्रिप्ट नहीं, आपको या तो Node.js यूज करना पड़ेगा, MongoDB या मतलब कोई डाटाबेस तो आप यूज करोगे, इसीलिए आपकी वेबसाइट इंटरेक्टिव होगी। मतलब आपको 4 पन्ने की स्टैटिक वेबसाइट बनाने से तो कोई हेल्प होगी नहीं, बीइंग अ BCS स्टूडेंट, राइट। Okay, Pratham. So you can of course make a website using CSS, JavaScript, HTML, but you should also use some database, and the website should be dynamic enough, right? Okay, APK is not Google Colab. See, that depends, right? Why it's not working in Google Colab? That depends upon the community guidelines, whether you abide it or not, right? Okay, you have uploaded the project on render. What is the error? क्या error आ रहा है? आप next time screenshot ले सकते हैं errors का, so that in the next class we can discuss these errors, like कि Google Colab में क्या error आ रहा है, render पर क्या error आ रहा है, क्योंकि कई बार errors like बहुत specific होते हैं according to your system, yeah. And then also like there are many things like when you are using a third party software, तो third party softwares के अपने limitations होते हैं, and they want to sometimes they want to buy it, like that facility is not freely available. So take the screenshots and then I will just see what can be done on that, right? But before that, decide your project, make your code, right? Once your project and everything is decided, then DFDs and that will also be done, right? So decide your project and the programming language you want to choose for it. Okay. Any other questions? ओके, PHP एप्लीकेशन अगर आप बना रहे हैं तो PHP में आप जो भी एप्लीकेशन बना रहे हैं, यू कैन सबमिट, then you can upload it on any dummy URL too, right? Yes, रेशम सी, जब हम अपने सिस्टम पे आप फ्रंट एंड और बैक एंड कर रहे हो तो आपने जो है लोकल होस्ट या कोई ऐसी यूटिलिटी लगा रखी है, ठीक है, लेकिन जब आप अपलोड करते हो तो आपको उसको चेंज करना पड़ेगा, उन पैरामीटर्स को, जो भी आप फ्रंट एंड और बैक एंड में जो है मतलब लिंकिंग दे रहे हो, लिंकिंग, क्योंकि पहले अभी जैसे हम नॉर्मल सिस्टम पे जो प्रोजेक्ट बनाते हैं, लाइक आई एम क्रिएटिंग अ प्रोजेक्ट ऑन माय सिस्टम, सो मैंने जो है आपको नॉर्मल जो है मैं अपने सिस्टम पे कर रही हूँ तो मेरे हिसाब से मैंने एक पाथ दे रखा है, उस पाथ पे वो फाइल्स अवेलेबल है एंड इट इज रनिंग, but when you are uploading it on the third party software, so you will have to make the changes to the path, and that's why your project is not working because proper linking is not there. तो जो भी आपके पास एरर आ रही है, try to search for that error on the Google, right? Try to find what are the solutions why this error is coming, right? And mostly when we like, अगर आपका प्रोजेक्ट आपके सिस्टम पे प्रॉपर्ली चल रहा है, इज वर्किंग fine on your system, and when you are uploading it on the website, right, and it's not working, like if you are uploading it on GitHub or Render, it's not working, then mainly the issue is the linking issue. ठीक है, वो कहीं ना कहीं वो गलत लिंक हो रहा होगा, आप जो पाथ दे रहे होंगे उस पाथ पे डेटा नहीं होगा, तो आपको पाथ चेक करना है, करेक्ट, फोल्डर और पाथ का ऑर्गेनाइजेशन चेक करना है, लाइक रेशम। सो ट्राई टू सर्च फॉर दैट पर्टिकुलर, जो भी आपका एरर आ रहा है उस पर्टिकुलर एरर को आप सर्च करो गूगल पे कि ये एरर किस लिए आ रहा है, क्या मीनिंग है इसका। एनी अदर क्वेश्चंस? Okay, then, do anyone has any other questions? In the next lecture, we'll be telling about advanced Java and some things related to advanced Java. Those who are designing the project in Java, do come up with your questions and try to tell me that what exactly you want to design and how you want to use Java in that, right? Okay, sample synopsis. Sanjunath, actually, see, every university का अपना एक guideline होता है, आपको जो guidelines हैं, that will be on your UML portal, and I'm not the person to ask for any sample synopsis. Like all the references are given on the website, and you will contact the website for that, because I don't want to give you anything which is not according to your, university, right? Web technologies में देखो हमारे पास बहुत वास्ट एरिया, लाइक पाइथन, जावा, ये सब एक ही काम कर रहे हैं। आप वेब टेक्नोलॉजीज में भी प्रोजेक्ट बना सकते हो, बिल्कुल बना सकते हो। आप ई कॉमर्स वेबसाइट्स बना सकते हो, यू कैन क्रिएट अ फूड डिलीवरी वेबसाइट, यू कैन क्रिएट अ वेबसाइट, फ्लोरिस्ट वेबसाइट, यू कैन क्रिएट एनीथिंग। लाइक आप वेब टेक्नोलॉजी में भी बहुत काम कर सकते हो, यू कैन क्रिएट अ बायोमेट्रिक सिस्टम, बायोमेट्रिक मैपिंग, राइट प्रथम? देयर इज लाइक इनफाइनाइट number of ideas, but first you will have to decide your capability, right? Your area of interest, your capability, and what time you can devote to that project. This is the first thing you have to decide, right? Okay, then everyone, thank you for your time and wishing you a very happy and prosperous Diwali. Be safe and enjoy. And after once we meet the next week, please decide your projects, and like whatever errors you are getting, try to take the proper screenshot so that I know what exactly the error is, right? So wishing you all a very happy and prosperous Diwali. Stay safe and bye bye. Take care.